What is up, guys? In today's video we have another ranked game in the Unranked to Unreal series. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. And in this gameplay, I think we're starting like high elite, like 80% or so. So if we have some decent games, we can maybe get to champion in this video, or like very close to champion. I don't really know where I want to go because Classy is first, Pleasant's kind of far from the bus, and I'm like bad at stretch drops. I don't know why, I just always have been. Like I feel like just because like when I play pubs, and like this is how I've played for so long in Fortnite, I just try to like land at an area that I think is going to be very populated, and that's usually something like very close within the angle of like the bus route, you know. It is just a bit different for ranked and higher elo, especially trying to get gameplays that are interesting YouTube videos in ranked, you know. Like I would play very differently if I was just trying to rank up as fast as possible versus like, okay, I want this game to be you know, a good video. We can go Pleasant, see how it goes this game. I've had some good games here, I've had some bad games here. I feel like earlier on in the season, my opinion of this POI was much higher. I still enjoy it, but with Brutus here selling a purple auto shotgun, it was quite great. But Brutus has moved on to the yacht, and then the auto shotgun isn't that good anymore either. And like, even at the start of the season, I preferred the Gatekeeper shotgun, but just being able to get a high rarity Frenzy auto was just nice as well, you know? Even if it wasn't the best, it was still just like guaranteed good shotgun. Not as much anymore. We have a pump, which is not my preferred shotgun. All right, we get the kill there. GG's. I was gonna say it's not my preferred shotgun, and especially not my preferred shotgun on higher ping, which, you know, the ping isn't ridiculous for me on Central, but it is higher than what I'm used to, and that, like, you know, is different. Like, regardless of how good or bad it is, if you're used to one thing and then you end up with something very different, it's just like feels off. And I feel like differences like that are most noticeable with the pump. Luckily, we're able to get that kill though. Someone chasing me here. Okay then, I don't know why that guy was so aggro for that. Unfortunately, I drank my big pot a little too soon. I thought I had a little bit more time to at least get like half of it off. I also wasn't sure if he was following me this way or coming from above, and then when I got to here, I couldn't see into that room the way I wanted because it was a left shoulder peek. You don't want to be fighting with left shoulder peek ever, right? Sometimes you'll do it, especially if it's just like scuffed situation or you have such an HP advantage, but since I did have a left shoulder peek, that's why I immediately backed up to this where I would have right shoulder peek, and then from that right shoulder peek we can back up into an even further right shoulder peek, which is really great with like the pump to like just be able to consistently back up into right shoulder peek after right shoulder peek and just keep resetting that fight. If you're that player there, I feel like you either just don't push that or hard commit to it, like just sprint at me. But he kind of just like played in a way that would be ideal for me, where he like pushed up and then waited, then pushed up again. Like I was just constantly able to do exactly what I wanted there. So it should be the POI clear. We always have to worry about potential like people hiding and or, you know, people coming in from somewhere else to the POI. They did buff this avatar thing. I've seen people saying that it's like a solid replacement for an AR. I just like don't really know how I feel about that too much. I haven't messed around with it too much, and I don't want to like experiment with it for the first time in ranked, you know. I mean, I've used it a little bit, but not as an AR. My main concern with like using it as an AR replacement would be that like doesn't feel the greatest aim assist wise on controller, and then also like following up a Gatekeeper shotgun. If I had a drum mag Gatekeeper shotgun, I would be more inclined to use that maybe. But with only 3 rounds, there's a decent chance I'm gonna have to swap to my AR to like finish somebody off. And when you swap to that avatar item, it's got like a weird like, not really swap delay, but it's like you can't use it right away as soon as you pull it out. There's like an animation, and so for that reason, I'm just like less inclined to want to use that. I would love to have that sniper, but I think in higher elo, going shockwaves and cover item would be great. Snipers were nerfed recently. I still think they're going to be huge in like just incredibly powerful, incredibly effective weapons. They made it harder to use, but as people get used to the drop, I think it'll still be a force to be reckoned with, I think. Unfortunately, we have no bunkers. I would like to have bunkers. Instead of bubbles. Bubbles are good. It's certainly better than nothing. And if you're good at fighting around bubbles, that can be like a distinct advantage for you over the opponent if they're not as used to fighting around them. But I would prefer bunkers just because it creates like more of a permanent structure. It doesn't like wear off over time like how the bubbles do. Also, would very much like to have an AR with a sight on it. Because, like, ideally, I would like to not have to worry about weapon bunkers. They're rough, and they could be just very ratty and very, like, third-party centric to fight around. Just naturally, the way they work out, it's like that. So if I can end up finding, like, an AR with a sight on it off the rip, that would be great. Like, the game is just much easier if you don't have to be worried about the bunkers as much. And same goes with my shotgun. Like, I would like to find a gatekeeper with a drum mag on it. I just feel like those are less common than getting an AR with a sight on it. Like, I would even be down to use, like, a Nemesis if I found one with a sight on it. But it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. I'm, like, pretty sure we've looted all of this, or, like, most of it. Honestly, not too impressed with my loot. There's splashes there. I was hoping that we could either find another big pot or more splashes, and I would just take whichever one I get another one of. I'm gonna reload my shotgun here. This is not at all going how I wanted. That guy sat in a good spot on the bubble. Like, ideally, when fighting around those bubbles, you can sometimes, like, jump, hit a shot, and then go into cover again, and then, like, your shotgun's ready to shoot again, you know? But that just did not play out at all for me right there. And he had a Frenzy Auto shotgun, which is, like, easier for taking those trades, I think, for him. Like, he could just walk forward and shoot. That was, like, very bad timing, though. I'm lucky that guy was not the greatest player. I should have been dead there. I get messed up, like, swapping to my shockwaves, too. Like, I should have been out of there sooner. He took my car. That's not great. There's also a medallion player coming here. They're probably going for the radio tower, though, I would assume. I really don't want to fight them. Because I really don't like my loot. And they have both of the Underworld Biome medallions. So they have dashes and they have siphon. The siphon's not going to matter as much. But dashes are such a huge advantage in the fight. Like, I think the most overpowered thing this season is the Cerberus medallion. I really don't want to fight that player. Unless I can get decent opening tags on them. And or like catch them when they have no dashes. And I think that's just very unlikely to happen because my loot is not great. It's hard to get good opening tags with the AR with no sight on it. My shotgun isn't the greatest. Don't have very much shields. Okay, I want to get into top lavish, I think. There's a bunker there. I don't think I should go for this. I think that car that just drove past us is going to be going here, if not already here. Yeah, they're fighting here. We can maybe third party it. What the heck? All right, that's very fortunate. They look like AI. But if I didn't get like great timing on that third party, I would have just left. Because I think it's hard for me to get good initiation with this like AR with lack of sight. No bunkers though. Unfortunate. I have no right side window. But yeah, I want to get over to this area. I think that's going to be the best spot to play zone from. I think that's going to be like pretty much dead side. Does this car fit? Okay, nice. I think that's going to be pretty much dead side. And then even if zone goes south from there, we'll be playing from dead side for the remainder of the game. And that'll make it much easier. However, I just am not happy still with not having bunkers and having bubbles instead. Especially because I like really messed up that first bubble fight. See green loot down there. Like, I wonder if any of it is bunkers. I doubt it. But like at the same time, while bunkers are like huge prio in zero build competitive, they aren't as much like the moment you land at a POI like Grimgate. Like a lot of people might just be more concerned about living rather than like, oh, these bunkers will benefit me later on in the game, you know? We can top off on bubbles. Chest here. More splashes, that's great. No bunks. Medallion players are over here, but I think they're gonna fight around like island and that bunker more than anything else. Run that bush over to check. I could loot this for bunkers, but like that's not what I wanted to do. I don't want to get engaged on here. I also didn't want to use my Cerberus dash. I just want to jump over the thing. Especially since I don't have the medallion. Like if you just have it from green water, I feel like you need to be more mindful about how you use them, obviously, because they're not just going to regenerate. The chests in that house, but like the higher ranks can be so ratty. I don't want to go for that one chest and then encounter the most unique individual in there, and then even if I kill them, potentially just get third partied. Like minimizing risk, I think, is like so huge for BRs. If you are more concerned about placement. You'd be the best player in the world if you fight somebody hiding that catches you off guard. and then get third partied by like 2 or 3 people afterwards, it's like hard to make that situation go your way. And I for sure didn't know this bush was clear. I just didn't want to run it over because I wanted to make use of it and not like consume gas out of my car. It is very obvious to anybody that I'm in here, but it's more just to waste time. If we get shot, I can like bubble or get in the car and leave, you know? But if there was somebody in here, I would have just dashed. I just not had that fight. Oh, I have a crown. I didn't realize, Rib. Medallion player potentially coming my way. We pulled zone, which honestly is good but bad at the same time, because I would have liked to like have a zone pull here and then just be dead side for the remainder of the game. But now with us getting zone, I feel like more people are going to be coming this way. Medallions died. The player on that. He went into a house, it looked like. Look. You see part of the house? Yeah. But he went into a house and then just died to someone hiding. That's like what I was talking about. And we know that there's a player there now, and here's the third parties. But we also know that that's the Zeus medallion. And so the other medallion player that's more towards Lavish is likely the, or not likely, like obviously the Underworld one, which I think the Fairbirth dashes are the most overpowered medallion, like I already said earlier on in the game when I didn't want to fight that guy, like with loot I wasn't happy with or in a situation I wasn't happy with. Fighting there, I don't really think I could do much about that. I could shockwave over and try to get involved. I think the risk reward is not really there. Especially like with your utility being a limited resource. You don't just want to use it all the time unless you have to. Like the deeper I can make it into the game without using the bubbles, better it is for me. Obviously, I would love to have bunkers instead, but using all your resources in zones like 4 and 5 and then making it zone 7, 8 with none is like not great. Okay, this side of zone is about to be so congested because we already know the medallion players are over there. But it's also very hard for me to get into the purple. Like when you get half and half, I would like to be the first in the purple area. But it's hard for me to do that this game because I have to go past all of them. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. DMP is going off over there. Unless the game is just bugs. We just leave. I was gonna like check and see if I could maybe third party that, but I think what happened is that car drives up to me, we fight, and then get third partied by that other guy. But I'm gonna try to go I was gonna say I'm gonna try to go through the way I came. There's somebody in that bush, obviously. You see the MTC question mark above it. I was gonna try to go back the way I came. There's somebody in that bush as well. I hear them moving. But also, it seems like the medallion players kind of came this way, so this might be a somewhat congested area. Might be hard to tell, though, just because the circle is rather large compared to the size of zone. I want that bush. Maybe. This is also where having forecast tower would be amazing. I don't even think I'm hidden in that bush, honestly. If that bunker was in next zone, I would fight for it because I don't have bunkers. So, like, honestly, I kind of want to just find a bunker, hop on the person, kill them, and then have it myself since I don't have any, like, permanent cover. This person just bunkered and ran. Okay, I don't want to talk about it. My aim felt so weird there. They might have had Mythic AR, but I don't think having Mythic AR is worth getting sniped over. I'm bubbling so I can look out more without getting sniped, because I want to watch my back here and see if there's anybody rotating into me. I don't see anything. But it's like, what ahead is like nice to kill, obviously, but also like I think my more imminent like threat is going to be like somebody in storm coming behind me. Those people that are already ahead of zone, less inclined to do anything, you know? They might, but zone pulled far. Let him go. Underworld medallion player died. Right here. Don't see it. Jumping out of the bunker to fight that guy might be sus, but like, I want to get that fight over with so we don't get third party sniped. And I feel like if you get the drop on somebody with gold gatekeeper like that, you should just be able to win that fight, you know? I think just getting that guy out of the game quick is better than standing there and ARing him and then potentially getting sniped. I want to check if he had bunkers, man. Like more. 3 opponents remain. That guy might get their... I might be dead here. We do have dashes to play off, though. I just felt like with how that going, everyone was looking at me. Oh, I don't have any more dashes. That is not great. I feel like I got a shock on this. I wanted that bunker for permanent cover. That's why I shocked on him, because it's just like I felt like that was the only permanent cover in zone, and I'm gonna die if I don't have any sort of like permanent structure. They may or may not be fighting. I'm not sure. We have dashes now, though. I can get back to this and see if there's any more heals here. That's Siphon. Last guy sniping. No. Dude, I tried to dash. So like my plan there was to AR him as he gets to me. And then once he gets shotgun range, dash behind him. So we just have like ulti advantage, you know? I get to get damage on him when he's in air and can't defend himself that much. And then also just dash behind him and kind of break his ankles and shotgun him. But my character mantled the rock. That was so unfortunate. But that's like what can happen sometimes when playing off like the Cerberus dashes. But yeah, we get to elite 97%, so we now needed 3% more to get to champion rank, which is the final rank before Unreal. That was a pretty good game. Would have been sad to lose that for sure at the end there, because like, obviously I understand why I mantled the rock, but it's just frustrating to have like that plan in your mind all thought out and then just kind of have it almost griefed, because the same button that mantles is the same button that dashes. And it's also just like funny if you guys play the dashes a lot, like it's hard to mantle when you want to mantle, but like sometimes when you want to dash it makes you mantle. But that's Fortnite. That was a pretty good game though. Very lucky timing on like a few fights for sure. And then endgame was hectic, went my way, but like I don't know, sometimes in game zero build you got to make plays that like may or may not work out. When I dashed in that bunker and killed that guy, like it's rough, but also at the same time, if I just like stand out in the open and like do nothing, then I don't like my odds of that either, you know? So I just kind of went to make the play there and ended up working out. We are now only a few % away from champion. I really do not know where I want to go because Classy Courts is early. I was hoping we would just get a late drop for Classy and then just go there, have a somewhat chill game, make it, get placement, and then get that 3%. I don't want to die off spawn and then now need like 8%, and then the game after that I play and get 7. It'll just be tilting. So I really do not know where I want to go. We could maybe go Pleasant again, but I feel like the start there can be very volatile. I'm contemplating landing here. Or here. But also, I don't know these spots too well, and I feel like little unnamed locations like this can be like weirdly conned just randomly. Like if I'm gonna have to fight like 3 or 4 people off spawn, I'd rather just land at a named POI that I'm familiar with, you know? Landed here. Looks like there's one guy landing here. I think he has a better drop than me. 2, 4. Some might be going to the mansion in the back though. These 2 people landing up top there. So I'm just gonna land on this. It seems less contested. Someone got a kill right away. Thing. I was hoping that maybe they'd buy a little bit of time and then we could like get a little bit of loot and then third party it. But that fight happened almost immediately. So we're just gonna have to loot up and deal with them later. Got bunkers this game, which I cannot find at all last game, which is great, but also not incredibly urgent right this second, you know? Gonna keep looting. I really do not like my loot. I talked about this last game, but I just don't want to play with the pump. Please, Gatekeeper nerfed Frenzy Auto. Green Nemesis. Is an improvement, but not necessarily the improvement I wanted. Okay, there we go. And I do have to be somewhat concerned about that player pulling up on me because, like, the thing is, that spot is not enough loot to play the game with. Like, if you're gonna land at one of these split drops, you kind of need to be mindful for the most part that that's probably not going to be enough loot for you just to, like, play the game out and that you're going to need to go elsewhere and get loot. Somebody crossing from like the mansion to that. I wish I knew this building better. So I want to like quickly be able to get on the roof and then maybe shockwave there if needed. Kind of wish I had my Flowberry Fizz instead of the big pot. We can Fizz shockwave. They start fighting, but it's possible that that person I saw was like the guy from those houses. Maybe looking to see what was going on mansion and then deciding to go back to his house. People fighting to my right. I'm most concerned about that person though, because either way, I think I'm going to have to deal with them. Like whether or not it was somebody coming from mansion or him looking to mansion and then going back to his house. I think either way, they end up coming here next. Do not see anything though. The car. That could be the person from that building. But also might not be. Best case scenario for me is I was hoping they would like bite and it be a fight that sounds like both players took damage, you know, like a trade. And then I just flowberry shock and third party it. That would have been great, but not meant to be, I guess. The bunker will open there. So I'm somewhat surprised if that person left. It was there because weapon bunker is nice to have. I luckily do not need it this game because I do have a red dot AR. That's like the main thing I'm concerned about. I would love to have a gatekeeper with drum mag as well. But like having an AR with a sight on, at least I could be like somewhat relevant in medium to long range and not just like hope a situation falls into my lap. But I was gonna say, I'm surprised that person left if that car was the person who landed there, because the bunker is gonna spawn there. And the reason I know it is because of that stuff outside. If the bunker isn't gonna spawn, all that like supplies out there will not be there. I see those chests down there. I'm just not too worried about them. My loot is like okay. I feel like I have like maybe like B plus, A minus loot. We got 4 shocks. I got bunkers. I have a AR sight on it. My shotgun rarity is not the greatest and it doesn't have drum mag, but like I have many other factors that I'm happy with, you know? A person leaving. I'm gonna go get this car. Run with bunkers out in case I get shot. I don't know if that guy actually left or not. I don't know what he was doing. Somebody right in front of me. I'm so bad with the Nemesis AR when it comes to things like this. Like leading range fights, I don't know why, but like the bullet velocity on it feels like way worse to me than the Warforged AR does. He's getting on that hill. He shouldn't want to fight though, I don't think, because of like where we're positioned. I think he's like decently likely to get third partied if he just like chills over there and shoots at me. We already know that one character was over there. I just don't necessarily know what happened to them. Don't know where he went. Kind of just want to hang out here for the next 30 seconds and see what zone is going to be before we do anything like drastic. Fighting in that direction, I don't think it's something that I'll be able to get involved with though. The medallion player is coming this way. I think he's likely trying to set up for that bunker over there, I would imagine. Maybe not. I don't know what the medallion player is doing. Going towards fencing, I guess. Okay, I want to get over this side. I think this will be dead side of zone. And like I said, I'm going to play this game probably pretty boring just because I don't want to like... I don't know. It annoys me that I was like so close to champion after that last game. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. If you're like close to the next rank, you like I've only, I think I'm 3%, like only a few percent. You just like want to get it. You don't want to like lose it and then be like 10-15% away the next game. Also, surprisingly, neither of the bunkers spawned in this area. Which I think also will contribute to the side of zone being dead. Maybe could have hired the Aphrodite NPC, hung out in Storm, and then tried to get that bunker. No gas. Check if this G-Wagon spawned out front of junk. Doesn't seem to be the case. I don't even know if any can spawn at that parking lot anymore. I feel like I never see them there this season. This area was looted. There may or may not be people ratting here. I might just chill in this bush. I think as far as editing goes, I'm just going to chill in this bush and then cut it and then come back when there's some sort of like action happening. I think there might be somebody in this bush. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm just going to cut this and then we'll pick back up when something's happening. I feel like it's going to be a very boring game. Car driving at me. Oh my gosh, that was such an awkward fight. He had a pump, so I was like very eager to take that. I kind of just wanted to like have nothing happen there, to be honest. Where did my car go? What the heck, man? The other car rolled all the way down here? I kind of want to just play that and have nothing happen. But once I realized he had a pump, I was down to fight it. My first gatekeeper shotgun shot was quite bad. But the second one hit like 98 and I think broke shield. So I was like very down. Earlier when I was sitting in the bush, I saw this purple Warforged AR here and I decided I would kind of go for it on the way out. I don't know if I want it though. I really am not a fan of the thermal. That purple one with thermal is a bit better though because it has the vertical foregrip. So it doesn't have as much recoil as like the green one with thermal, but I still am just like not excited to take that. But at the same time, oh shoot, I much prefer, I guess we'll just do this. I much prefer the Warforged AR in situations like that. Like the Nemesis just felt like not great to use in that fight. No gas. And the car hits me. I'm getting shot from somewhere. Oh my gosh, man. DMR is so good now, man. Oh my god. I don't even understand where I'm getting shot from. I'm legit scared to do anything here. That guy's aim is good. The DMR has like, come on game, really? It's just got a grief at all times. The DMR has like no bullet drop now. He's swimming after me. I'm just gonna get in this. I think I'm dead though. I'm gonna have to shockwave as soon as I get out of this. Somebody else here. But if there's like anybody ratting in any of these buildings, we're so screwed. Ideally, this would be a heal vending, but it doesn't look like it is. I don't know. Dude, that's so bad. The car ran out of gas at like the worst possible time for me. If it just had like a little more, we get past there, no problem. But now I've had to use my utility and all my heals. I should have just shockwaved away immediately. So screwed. GG's. There's like nothing I can do there, man. If that shockwave gets me like all the way up that hill, we can maybe do something. And now we're at 99% elite. GG's.